Are stereotypes about travellers being dangerous and violent unfounded? It's discrimination 101, this question. Travellers and gypsies. I've never broke the law in my life. I've never committed a crime in my life. I've, thank God, never been dangerous in my life. In a buffet, I've been dangerous. Show me a few spring rolls, I'm deadly. I'll eat probably whatever's there. But to a human being, no. No, the majority are beautiful, peaceful, law-abiding Christian people. And that's us. Hi, my name is Charlotte-Ann. I'm half English Gypsy, half Irish Traveller, and today I'm on the Honesty Box answering questions about my culture and my ethnicity. So, first question. Do you live in a caravan? Yes, I do live in a caravan. I've lived in caravans and static caravans all my entire life, and that's just the norm for me. I know it's like not the norm for you, it's so intriguing to you. I did briefly, a long time ago, live in a house. It wasn't for me. I felt so claustrophobic, it was unreal, and I felt so isolated. I'm used to being surrounded by other people, and I'm used to having always like people around me and company, and just to be in that house, it just felt like I just didn't like it. It's like the walls were closing in on me. I don't think I'd ever live in a house again, but I can never say never because only God knows what He planned for me, but no, it's not for me. What's the difference between a traveller and gypsy? So I think the main difference is the fact that Romani gypsies originated from India a long, long time ago, and Irish travellers originated and are still many from Ireland. I think that's the main difference. Also, they have their own unique language, which are separate from each other. They share the same morals and they share the same values. I think we have a lot more in common than not in common, but I think they're the main differences. Is being a traveller an ethnicity? This is an amazing question because a lot of people don't actually know that travellers and gypsies are an ethnicity, and they're protected under the Equality Act 2010 as a proper ethnicity, and it's an umbrella. So Romas fit under that, Sintis fit under that, Irish travellers, Scotch travellers, they're all under that umbrella of an ethnicity. So I'm really proud that we've finally got that title because it saves a lot of confusion and it helps against discrimination as well, actually knowing that this is an ethnic group. Oh, this is an amazing question. Did Big Fat Gypsy Wedding help or hurt your community? I think it hurt it, and I'm going to explain the reason why, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for the masses here, I'm speaking for myself. I think it fed into stereotypes. I think the way the producers and everything edited things and put things together, they heightened certain aspects to make it seem more than what it was, and they dramatized everything a lot, and they upstaged everything, because obviously that was done for entertainment purposes. So because it was a show for entertainment, they're going to heighten and exaggerate things.
What are some of the stereotypes that you think that programme exemplified and made kind of bigger than they maybe are for you every day?
For one instance, grabbing. They made that look like some form of assault. They made that look so violent and so graphic. I even got anxious looking at it thinking, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Grabbing is something, it's like a courting kind of thing between young Irish travellers. I can't speak for Scotch travellers. I don't know if they partake in it, but I've never known English gypsies to do that in courtship, grabbing, and I'm half English gypsy myself. I myself didn't believe in grabbing because obviously I'm half English, so my daddy said, no grabbing for you, pure Yorkshire man, do you know what I mean? He didn't believe in that. And no Irish family encourages it either. It's not like they say to their children, yeah, you go get grabbed tonight, because they clearly, obviously don't. But it's common between, like in the teens for Irish travellers. It's a harmless kiss chase. Essentially, kiss chase is the only word I have to describe it, between pre-teens and teens. It's childish, it's innocent, and it's harmless, and it's absolutely nothing like what was portrayed to be on social media or on that programme. Nothing like it. So I think it harmed our community tremendously because it fed into stereotypes so much. So I don't like Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, and I don't agree with the show in any way, shape or form, but that's my personal opinion. And it is the Honesty Box, so I have to be honest. What's dating like for an Irish traveller? Very traditional. See, now before I got married and I'd be going out with my husband, a boyfriend then, you'd be chaperoned, someone will come with you. Very traditional, like we don't live together before we're married, nothing like that. Very, very traditional, very old school. It's lovely.
So what, you're on a date and there'd be like somebody
so
from your
if you
family?
go on a date, someone will come with you, like your sister, your little cousin, someone will be there with you, yeah. It's our norm, so to me, it's the way it was, you know what I mean? So I didn't know any different to that. So to me, it's normal, and I think it's fun. I think it's nice. I think it's lovely, and it's very safe as well. Well, not that the men are a danger to us in any way, shape, and form, but it's nice. I enjoyed it. My dating days are over now, though. I'm a married woman now. Do travellers go to normal schools? By normal, I think you mean mainstream, and yes, they do. I know you can get homeschooled, and I know that you can just join different schools as you travel. I've seen a lot of my family just join different schools as they travel around and just spend time there. My later education was homeschooling. My primary education was in school, and then later after that, I got some homeschooling. So homeschooling is very common because in our culture, you typically leave school at 11. So after that, you'll have education from the family. You'll still be learning, but you'll be learning at home.
And how did you feel about being homeschooled?
I miss school in the sense, I like school. I really love school, like is the wrong word. I absolutely adored school, so I missed it. Everyone misses it when they leave school, but I enjoyed being with my family a lot more and learning more about who I am and my ethnicity. So there was pros and there was cons, mainly pros.
You probably don't get taught much about like your culture and your background in a mainstream like UK school, right?
No, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe now, it's been a long time since I was in school, but I don't think they teach about our culture or history in school. Even with the Holocaust, what happened with the Jews was absolutely atrocious, and all the other victims as well. But in the mainstream, do you really hear much about the genocide of all the Roma Gypsy people that happened in the Sintis? You don't really, do you? It's not really something that's spoke about. The thousands, the hundreds of thousands that were brutally murdered because they were Roma, because they were Gypsy. They were getting like cattle brought and slaughtered just for their ethnicity. And it's tragic. I do really, really believe that our history, our culture should be taught in schools across the board in this country. Gypsy wagons are beautiful. Do you have one? Unfortunately, I don't own one. I would absolutely love to own one from the bottom of my heart, but I've got family that own one. And they're a bit of a rare thing to get now, original wagons. You can get reproductions and you can get things like that, but an original wagon, because they're from a long time ago. We don't live in wagons anymore. So it's hard to get an original, but my uncle actually has an original one. Yeah, I know. Just having a bit of a brag there for a moment. When you go into a wagon, even on the outside, they paint, and everything is hand painted, all these patterns and design. And then like inside, you get all caravans of like flowers and gold paint, and you get the little bed at the back like a bunk. And even on there, on the wood, all that'll be carved and all that'll have details. And it just goes to show you like the craftsmanship the travellers and gypsies have and the patience. You have to think they were making them 100 years ago. Before electric, they were making them. So they were doing that by candlelight. Like, look at the intelligence and look at the art it took to make something so intricate and so exquisite. Beautiful, honestly. Do you get discriminated against? Yes, I do. I've been discriminated against many times in many ways. Even going to Tesco's for my big shop, I've had security guards walk around it just for the plain reason that I look like a traveller. They know I'm a traveller. I've been discriminated even as a child in school, 11-year-old teacher saying, oh, we got more travellers to teach. And I was a model student. Never late, always on time, top of my class and everything. I only went to primary school, but I done everything in primary school to perfection. And even as a child, I faced backlash just for my ethnicity.
How did you feel you were discriminated against for the first time?
I was devastated and I was confused because as a child, especially a harmless, innocent child who was so good in school, like I was a teacher's pet. I was a little student that was going with my books. I love reading. I love literature and I love me teachers, and I was really kind to me teachers. I was never rude. And for them to speak in such a harsh way about my ethnicity, that was the first time I realised I was different. That was the first time I realised, oh, so being a traveller makes you be judged different, because as far as I knew, a child is a child. There's no such thing as traveller, non-traveller, black, white, Chinese, Asian to a child. We don't see in colour, we don't see in ethnicity, we just see other children to play with. So that was my first realisation of racism. You should see the comments I even get on TikTok, not so much anymore, but the things that were called and the things that were said, like people saying, oh, there's gypsies around the corner, I might just go burn them all out of it, vermin, rat, p***y, which is about the worst racial slur you could possibly ever use for us. To be honest with you, it's my normal now. That's my normal, and that's every traveller and gypsy's normal. Is it frustrating? Is it aggravating? Yes, it is. But all I can do is pray for them people, because they're blinded and they don't see that God is a God of love. And you should love everyone and respect everyone. Even if you don't agree with them, you still have to respect people. And them people, I'm not broken, they are. This is a funny question. I like this question because it's lighthearted. Why do you put plastic on your furniture? So there's one stereotype that is actually quite true about travellers. We are quite clean. We do love to clean. So that is a true stereotype. And why we put the plastic on is to just basically keep the furniture from getting marked and to keep it from getting scruffed up. It keeps it cleaner for longer. And it is comfortable. A lot of people think it's not comfortable. It is. My body's just used to it now. I've been doing it for 31 years.
You said that like cleaning is quite a big part of your community. Can you tell me why that might be?
See, I could do like a really deep question. See, me personally, now this is just my personal opinion, I think where travellers and gypsies were called dirty and scummy so much over their life, I think we're always clean anyway, but that extra cleanliness, especially when you send your children to school, you want them to look extra well, is because we want to pay away from them stereotypes, not into them. And another reason is just the way we were brought up. We were just brought up to have high standards in our home and to clean well. It's just how we are. I'm a basic gypsy cleaner because me, liquid, hot water and bleach. I'm all right with that. A bit of elbow grease for the outside, you're done. I'm very basic. A good thick microfiber cloth and a chamois. How many languages do I speak? I speak English, I obviously speak Irish Traveller, and I speak the Roma language as well. Irish Traveller's not the best terminology for it, but they're the three I speak. My mother's tongue, my father's tongue, and my homeland tongue.
What do you speak most often when you're at home?
Well, I'm married to an Irish travelling man, so if I start speaking to him like my English side, he wouldn't really know much of what I'm saying, so usually that. But the odd word still slips out. If I'm upset, it's complete Roma. Forget about the cant and the gammon, that goes out the window. It's Roma all the way if I'm angry or upset. What are gender roles like in the community? I think our gender roles are very, very traditional. The men usually go to work and the women stay at home, but there is a rare occasion where women work too. I don't want to generalise a full ethnicity, but what I've been brought up and what's been most common is the men go to work and the women stay at home, and it's very, very, very traditional roles. And it's a role that we choose. It's not that we're not forced into that lifestyle. That's the way we want things to be. It's beautiful and it's nice, and every woman's perfect looks different, don't it? And that's what we like and that's what we love. And our men respect us and love us and look after us. And likewise, the women are very strong. They look after the family, they look after their husband. And it's a beautiful thing to see, the harmony in marriage. Is there such thing as a gypsy curse? Sorry, I can't. There's only blessings in Christ. That's my answer to that one. A gypsy curse, I don't know what, it's something you see in a fairground. Do you know what I mean? It's not something I've ever been around or done. I definitely never I pray for you, but I definitely won't curse you. Why do travellers live on the side of the road? Because it's usually made impossible for us to live anywhere else, unfortunately, but the side of the road. But we have a nomadic lifestyle, so travelling is a part of us. And I think we should be able to express that freedom in a Western country that's meant to be all about freedom and expressing your choices and being your version of yourself and speaking your truth. This is all the language you hear in this modern world, this day and age. But when you see a traveller trying to live I wouldn't call it their truth, but their lifestyle, then they're shot down for it, and it's a problem. So I think it's very hypocritical. I think it's very hypocritical. I think there's double standards, and I think when it comes to us, there's a different standard set. And I don't know why that is. I can't answer that question, but I do know that if you're from a nomadic lifestyle, you're going to travel, and that should be totally accepted if everything else in this modern world can be accepted. What's the biggest misconception about your community? Buckle in for this one because it's probably going to be a long answer. So I think the biggest misconception are three major things. The first is that we're violent and that we're uneducated and that we're aggressive, that we're thieves, basically lawless people that don't contribute to society and don't abide by society's rules or laws. That's the number one. Second is that we're fly tipping and we're this and we're that and we're constantly chucking rubbish everywhere. And the third is that we've got like this, I don't know what the best way to word it is. It's like the first, that we just have a chip on our shoulder and we don't feel like that we're under the law, that we have to abide by it. This is just complete and utter propaganda because the media has always showed you the bad in us. It's hardly ever shown you the good. It showed you the fields of the fly tipping, but it's never showed you the fields after Glastonbury in the same manner or light. It showed you us in campsites, but it's never ever showed you us getting put out of our own land and property. So I think the media has a lot got to do. They only show the bad, and the bad is the minority. The good in my community is the majority. Why do travellers get married at age 15? So that question in itself just shows a stereotype because it's getting asked as a matter of fact. Why do travellers get married at 15? I got married at 30 and I'm a traveller. So is there some travellers that get married young? Yes, there is. There's some non-travellers that get married young. Is it more common in my community to get married young? Yes, it is. But girls are not getting married as young anymore. We're going back 50 years ago, people were getting married at 15, 16. Are the exceptions that still does? Yes. But they don't have to, they want to. That's the key thing I want to make sure that people understand. When a gypsy or travelling girl gets married young, it's because they want to, and not because their mother and father is telling them to do that. It's their choice, that's what they want to do. So yeah, and not everyone gets married young. Like I said, I was 30. What do you love most about your community? So I think the thing I love most about my community is our love for our family values, our morals, and just that sense of belonging. We're very, very close. It's very rare you'll see a traveller or gypsy not extremely close with their family, and we always have each other's back. And I think our resilience is something I love about our community, that no matter how much discrimination we face, how much stereotypes, we're resilient, we're very proud to be called gypsy and traveller, and we're just a strong people that in the face of adversity we still carry on. So I think that's what I love about my community. As a traveller, do you actually travel about? Not every traveller and gypsy travels. I live quite a settled life in my younger years, but now that I'm married, I've started to travel around and move around more. So it just depends on the individuals, really. But yeah, it depends on the individuals. Some travel, some don't. It's getting harder for us to travel now, though.
Why is that?
I think the government and the council and things, they're making it near on impossible for travellers to actually live their nomadic lifestyle. I think they're trying to suppress that part of us by making it so hard. Like, for instance, if you want to pull on a holiday park, legally paid, you're doing everything above board, you will have to ring with an English accent, a non-traveller accent, or you're getting refused. And if they do, for some chance, find out you're a traveller or gypsy, there's a big possibility you're going to be put out. So where does that leave you? On the side of the road. So then when you're on the side of the road, people are not happy about that either. So they want you off the side of the road. So then you buy your own land. And you go through the council, and you go through all the legal things, you get your solicitor, you pay for the rights, for the deeds, for everything. They deny you. They have meetings in village halls, and this can be researched. There's meetings going on all over village halls today saying, do not let gypsies live in our village. It will bring the price of the properties down, it'll cause hassle. So where are we meant to go? Where are we meant to go? We can't travel, but we can't stay either. So we're left in a bit of an impossible situation, I think. Are stereotypes about travellers being dangerous and violent unfounded? The short answer is yes, it is unfounded, because look at the question, travellers and gypsies. Yes, it's getting asked in a way that's general. Is there individuals, unfortunately, in this world who are violent criminals who happen to be a gypsy by ethnicity? Yes, but that's their ethnicity, and your ethnicity does not define your actions. Your brain does, your choices does. Your personal choices define that. So is there gypsies and travellers that do that? Yes. Are they minority? Yes. Are they wrong? Yes. But you can't generalise a whole ethnicity for the individual personal choices and actions of the few. It's that simple. It's discrimination 101, this question. Travellers and gypsies. I've never broke the law in my life. I've never committed a crime in my life. I've, thank God, never been dangerous in my life. In a buffet, I've been dangerous. Show me a few spring rolls, I'm deadly. I'll eat probably whatever's there. But to a human being, no. No, the majority are beautiful, peaceful, law-abiding Christian people. And that's us. Why do all your dresses look like Disney princesses? I think we just have a unique style. I think we like our things to be unique. We love fashion. I think most traveller and gypsy women love fashion. I think the majority, we like to present ourselves in a nice way, in a unique way, and I think we all look beautiful on our wedding days. I didn't have a big, large wedding. I didn't want it because my daddy was in heaven, but yeah, I think all the brides looks beautiful. Over the top or not, big or not, flat dress or not, they're all beautiful. Can I become a traveller, or do I have to be born one? You are born a traveller. It's an ethnic minority. It's an ethnic group. You can't join. It's not a club. We don't give you passes at the door and stamp you off like a passport. Sorry, I'm not being offensive, but it's just an amusing question for me. Are there strict rules in your culture? To an outsider looking in, who doesn't live the same lifestyle, they might perceive it as strict rules. But to us, it's our lifestyle, it's our choice, and it's who we are. So it's not a list of rules to us, it's a lifestyle to us. It's not like when you're 13, your mommy don't hand you a to-do list and say, do this, do that, do this, live like this, live like that. It just naturally comes to you because it's the way you've been brought up.
What are some of the things that people might think is a strict rule?
We very, very, very rarely, I don't know any traveller gypsy that leave home before they get married. You stay at home and that's that, do you know what I mean? I'm married and I chat to my mammy every single day on the phone, like at least 15 times a day. I think she's gonna block me soon if I don't stop ringing her. And I always go back to see my family, I think. And I'm not saying that non-travellers don't have a good like family basis and people they can go to, but I think we're very family orientated, like extremely. And I think some people can find it strange how close we are. Some people might even call it codependent, but I don't think it is. Who's the most famous person in your community? I think Tyson Fury is the most famous person in our community, and I have a lot of respect for Tyson Fury. He never forgot his culture. He was never ashamed. He was always loud and proud that he was the Gypsy King and he's a Gypsy. And I respect him a lot for that. And another thing, I don't know Tyson personally, but another thing I really respect Tyson for is the fact that he spoke so openly and so rawly about mental health, because mental health is rampant in every community, but it's prevalent in our community as well. And for a man of his stature and his title, like he's the king of the world, he's world champion boxer, to be vulnerable and speak and show other men, not just in our community, but out of our community as well, that it's okay not to be okay and speak out. I have a lot of respect for Tyson for that. I think it was a beautiful thing that he done. And also congratulations on Venezuela for the engagement. Hope you have a nice wedding. Put that in there. Oh, it's a personal question. I love your TikToks. Why did you start doing them? Now, I could give you a really like posh answer, like and a really good answer of this really big meaningful reason, but I could give you the honest answer, and it's the honesty box, so I should just be honest. I started it for fun. I never thought it would end up being what it was. But through people's support, it did. And I'm really, really grateful for all the people that supported me on my journey along the way. I can't speak for every travelling gypsy in the whole world. I can't do that. But I can speak from my personal experience being in the community, and to have a voice to be able to share and get rid of those misconceptions the best way I can, to my own personal knowledge. I can only do what I know. It's a privilege and it's an honour. It really is.
I did not know that there were actresses and actors in movies. I thought that it was real. After I left Amish, when I was with the people that took me in, we were watching a movie and there was violence and it freaked me out, and I was like, I can't watch this because those people are dying. And they're like, it's just a movie.